Alright guys, so I don't know how I'm going to structure this video, and I think this is going to be my first vlog that basically I will edit. And I'm going like basically Marine Line and Churchgate and Gate of India or bookstores. So like I don't know how to shoot videos and basically vlog things, and it's my first vlog, so just enjoy it.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Alright guys, so we've reached the Marine Line stations, and we just have to go to the right side, and I'm going to show you the view. And I think the Marine Line is very beautiful, and it's just awesome, and it's just lovely. Not to mention that I'm feeling like very regret, like I should be focused on like serving my clients and focusing on my business and basically scaling to like 100 millions. But what I'm doing here is like making vlogs, and I'm not a celebrity, I'm not an influencer, I am a business owner. So I should like focus on my business, not on like making these videos. And I think that's a mistake that I'm making, maybe not, but I'm like quite not sure what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to like test new things and observe, and I will keep what works and what not work. And I'm like using scientific method in this video, and how this video performs and how vlogs perform will basically like I will use that and make form hypotheses and basically test and experiment and do what's working and what's right for me and what's making me the most amount of money. Because right now like a lot of my competitors are like beating me in the short term, but I always and I will always remember the quote from Ben Graham until I die, which says that in the short term the market is a voting machine, and in the long term the market is a winning machine. And people can fool my prospects and every people that I choose to serve in my niche, that their solution is the best solution through marketing, through perceptions. But in the long run the truth will come up and eventually bite them in the face, and they are like hiding behind marketing for a while now, but truth will eventually come up, and I will like basically annihilate them completely in basically future and take up the whole market share. So you see like in Marine Lines you will like see a lot of BMWs, Mercedes, and a lot of like crazy cars like Ferrari, not Ferrari, like a lot of fancy and basically unique cars that people love. And I like actually don't like cars, and I don't think that I'm going to buy any car in the future. And even if I'm going to like buy a car in the future, I'm going to like buy pretty much like my favorite car is basically Rolls Royce, and I will buy that. I'm like quite not sure because I think your personal life can pretty much engulf your entire business. Okay, and the bigger your ego, basically, if like your ego is like basically black hole, and your business is basically light, and the bigger your ego, the massive the like basically the massive your ego is, the bigger is going to be like the black hole, and your business is basically light, and it's going to like attract it, and it's basically going to eat it. So that's what I want to say, is that your personal life is. So you can see there are like in Marine Lines you will see BMW, Mercedes, and a lot of crazy unique cars that people love. And I genuinely don't think that I am a materialist, and like I don't want to buy like cars. And even if I buy one, I think like I don't want any car. I want to buy like a private jet in future of like 30 million something. And if I buy any car, that it will be like Rolls Royce. And I think your personal life can engulf your business, and your business is basically your ego as a like entrepreneur, as a business owner, is like a black hole. And the bigger the black hole, the more you are going to basically eat your business. And it's just not a good thing to do. And I'm like not going to like buy any car or like any jet until I'm making like 500 million plus every like in 5 years. Or basically I have a net worth of in billions, or I have a like I can sustain that lifestyle. And like I would rather hire someone who can basically help me a lot, instead of buying like a Rolls Royce. And I'd rather hire like make mentors and basically get experience around the world, instead of spending like six basically like I don't know like the amount of Rolls Royce, but instead of buying a Rolls Royce, I could like invest that money in my business and hire a lot of great talent and basically scale up from there. That's it. You don't have to like do these crazy things in business. You should like always focus on doing what's matter, and always focus on the main thing. And the main thing will always be like serving my clients and making sure I have exceptional services. And another thing is that like I can't claim ownership over a piece of metal. It's just a piece of metal, and it will get like completely eradicated in future, and it's going to lose its value. And basically it's just ridiculous. Like I don't get my status by having a metal. I get my status by having a company that's so great that it's like making multi-millions and even billions. That's how I get its status, and not through like Rolls Royce or watches or these materialistic stuffs.
But I wanna see my bride feel cause it makes up in my ride. Bitch, I feel like I'm so lost, contrived. Yeah, I can never do right. In your mind, it's just so hard to stay attached to the I feel like matter, let's just leave me staggered. It's 5 only, won't let me be. Everywhere I'm stuck in my teeth, I seen her face on my OG. Scrapple tape on my SMG. Talk, cover fire. I'm tryna be one
are like very expensive hotels, and I want to live in them, like try. And I think when I am like 20-year-olds or 25-year-olds, then I will like stay there for like few weeks or months. There, yes, these two hotels, and these are very expensive hotels, like luxury 5-star hotels. And I want to just have an experience and like basically look what type of people basically stay there. And when I will invite like entrepreneurs from other countries who are like making like a tons of money like me, then I'm going to stay with them there, you like those two buildings. And I'm going to basically invite Charlie Morgan, Alex Hormozy, and Iman Gadzi. And these are like my favorite entrepreneurs. And I think like it's very expensive hotels, right? But I will make a video in future, like something like 4 to 5 years, that yes, like I am in, and I've made it. And what I found like traveling these places like Churchgate Marine Lines is that the world is very abundant, and there's like a lot of money to for you. And basically the world has, I think, something like $60 trillion in like whole money. And if you are telling me that you can't make like 10k month or like make millions, that's absolutely ridiculous. You can obviously make like more money than that. You just have to suffer a lot, and you have to like deserve that kind of money and that kind of things, because the world is not a crazy enough place to reward a whole bunch of undeserving people. And to deserve basically means to suffer. And if you want a good life, then you have to suffer for it. Like there's no other way to get what you want other than pain and suffering. Pain is the like universal principle for human evolution and anything that evolves like growing. And pain is the path. And I think the easiest and simplest way to like being broke and being poor is to just try to do something radical. And it just did not work. Like I'm going to copy my way all the way through millions and even billions and even trillions. And you don't have to like do something radical, you just have to copy what's working. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, you should not copy, and like you are not in school anymore and you are not in high school anymore, and these rules that apply in schools, colleges, high schools don't apply to in real life and in business. And that's just how the way is that the world really works. And my guiding principle is that there are no rules. And basically there are no rules, but and that's like I like copying people, and I'm going to like copy my way through being a millionaire and being a multi-millionaire all the way through. Like there's no shame in it. Like I am admitting that I'm going to like copy a lot of things, and I just don't feel any shame. And I'm like not trying to do anything radical, because I can tell you that radical innovation a lot of the time fails, and you should just copy people. And that's it. Like I have no shame in it. I think I've talked about the self-fulfilling prophecy in my video, in which I talk about like how to close every high ticket sales calls. And I'm like learning this thing, and it's like very amazing. Like what you believe becomes true because you act on that. And I'm believing that I can like get what I want. And basically currently right now I don't deserve actually these things, multi-millions and multi-millions and a great company. But I'm like working every day, and it's only through working like for years painfully that I'm going to make it work. And sometimes like I think about like I'm wasting my time, like things are not working and I'm not getting results. But I know that it's just going to take a lot of time. And I will basically get what I want, and I will have basically a lot of good peoples in my company, and basically a great culture. And a lot of clients. I will like signing hundreds and thousands of clients every single month. And my sales team would be like top 1% closers, but in order to like make them top 1% closers and basically hire them, I have to first learn to sell by myself, and which is kind of tough for me. I will be honest and fully transparent with you, because sales is like hard, and in the beginning it was hard, but I think I kind of love sales now. Like I get like, very excited by every sales calls, and it's not that because I'm needy, I'm desperate, but because like I want to use my skills, like my tonality, my body language, and basically how to ask right questions at the right time. And when prospects give me objections, I actually love them, like I cherish them, and I want as much objections as you can give me, but I take no for an answer. And I think if your prospects are like giving you too much objections, then they are uncertain, and uncertainty is created by the salesperson, and you got to handle it, and it's your responsibility as a salesperson to basically eradicate that uncertainty and make them feel certain that you will be helpful for them, and you can get them the results they want, but not just the results they want, but the best results. And that's how they are going to trust you more, and basically going to buy from you. And if you got like a lot of objections, that does not necessarily mean that your prospects are interested in what you are offering. It just does not make any sense. And like I don't use traditional sales techniques like ABC of closing and consultative selling, or like asking logical based questions. What I use is NAPQ framework developed by Jeremy Miner. And Jeremy, I don't know, like you basically changed my life and how I see like the world, my lens through which I see sales and persuasion, and you basically shattered my old ways of thinking and old beliefs about selling. And very I will be like very honored to meet you in the future, Jeremy Miner. And I want my sales team, if I have in the future, to be trained by you and only by you. And I think Jeremy is right now not like uploading content. He's just like trying to sell courses, but I think he will come back in future, maybe, like not sure I'm. But yeah, I love Jeremy Miner, and bro, like I can tell you, I'm going to meet Jeremy Miner in few years, like when I'm like 20 or 25. Like I don't know exact timing, but I like Jeremy very much, and you should, if you want to learn sales, don't read books, just go and watch Jeremy Miner, and that's it. If I want to make millions, that means I've got to sell something, right? From first principle thinking, and nothing could be further from the truth. I have to basically sell something, and in order to sell something, I have to learn sales, and sales is the most important thing in business, I think, by far. And you can have the best product in the world, the best leads, yeah, you can have like growing review stars, but if you can't persuade and basically if you can't make people to buy from you, you are never going to sell. And it's a skill that's going to take me like a lot of years to master, but however, I can tell you that once I master it, I'm going to be the best at it, and like no one is going to basically, there would be no salesperson like me in the world. And I will like basically stop selling at some point in my life, in my career, but I know I'm going to like sell absolutely like insanely for like almost a decade. And I want to hire people who are like sales people like me, and I want to build a team of A sales reps. And I want to hire a sales manager who is like basically me, and is very talented and extremely persuasive, and understand everything in my business, and is not like don't use like traditional methods of selling and ABC of closing or consultative sellings. And I basically want to build a great sales team, because I think that's what's going to allow me to scale to like from like 7 figures to 8 figures, and then from 8 figures to 9 figures, and then even beyond that. But I can't do it alone by myself. I have to hire a lot of people in this process, and the main people that I think I am like are the people who are actually going to sell my thing. And I know my thing is very good because I've built it, and I will have processes and systems in place to make sure that I'm like actually going to hit those goals, and I'm not just like talking, and it's just going to take a lot of time. But I have faith in myself, not in myself but in the person that I'm going to become, and eventually I will become that person. And even if I don't become that person, I am very happy that I at least try and I become someone else, right? And guys, let's not forget about like marketing. Marketing is also a skill, and it's like very important in business. Like, you can have the best product in the world, but if no one sees it, then no one is going to buy it basically. And I have to like market a lot, and that's what I'm doing right now. Like, basically guys, show up and market relentlessly, because your biggest advantage is that no one basically knows you. So go get up and basically make videos, make content, and do whatever it gets it get to basically show your stuff to other people's. Now I am very poor, and I am like honest and truthful and transparent, and a lot of people think that I am very rich, but I am not very rich. Like, I struggle with finance and stuff like that, and every money that I have is basically spent on my business, and I don't like take money out of my business and spend on like personal things. And I've never ever spent my business funds and money on basically for basically myself and for me. I've always spent it to like grow my business, and like I buy books, and I've like bought books for over like 20k plus RS I spend on just books this year. Not this year, I'm going to like spend a lot, and its books are like one of the best investments that I've ever made. And investment in knowledge is the best investment, I think. It's a quote from Benjamin Franklin, I think. And I invest in knowledge and basically growing my business, because if I grow, then my business will eventually grow. But I don't invest and spend money like on like buying clothes or like traveling around the world and spending crazy amounts of money to buy like materialistic stuffs. I spend money so on things that basically give me the highest ROI and not lowest ROI. And sometimes things like buying materialistic things don't give you ROI, return on investment. So just don't buy these things, I will say. And until I'm like making billions and multi-billions, until then I'm like not going to spend any single dollar on basically myself for my selfish gains and on any materialistic pursuit. And I'm like I don't understand like I know why she want those things, but that's just not who I am. And maybe I was, but currently right now I am not, and maybe I would in future, but I'm currently not, and I don't think that I would also. And your values matters also, but I can tell you that if I'm when I'm 16-year-old, I won't care about like a Rolls Royce or like any materialistic things that I own. So why would I care now? Like, why? The only thing that I think I will care about at 16 or 18 years old is reflecting back on my life and seeing things that I did not have done. And basically, like I have a company that is great, and my life would be nothing but basically it's hard to describe. But when I will reflect back on my life, the the thing that will be the most compelling and meaningful would be the series of choices that I've made, and in the end we are our own choices. And basically the higher I choose to make, the clients I choose to serve, the value system that I have, the standards that I neglect to lower, and the systems that I use instead of chasing shortcut, and the work that I done that's like hidden, and all of that stuff. I think values matters also, because when I'm 16-year-old, I won't be like care about like Rolls Royce, because I can like fucking buy a Rolls Royce in just few seconds, not few seconds, but like in a day. So it just does not align with my value system and what I believe, and I I won't care about a Rolls Royce after like 14 years when I'm 16-year old. So why would I care right now? And it's just not going to like fill the void that you have in your like mind and heart, because here's the thing, like let's get to the deep stuff. So you see, fundamental purpose of any human being, any human, is to basically reproduce and survive. Okay, that's from pure fundamental truth, that's like the first principle of any human existence. And now let's reason up from there. So you see, we are like animals, and we have same functions like reproduce and survival, but humans, after reproducing and survival, like animals get satisfied, and just like animals seek power, humans also seek power and status. But the thing is that animals get satisfied by those things, but humans are like never satisfied with anything, and they have this deep void in their heart, in their mind, that like finite things in the universe like never ever could feel. And we try to fill it with this like finite things in the world, but it's never ever going to fill this void. The only way that you can fill this void, this endless infinite void, is only through having a purpose and a meaning. And that's a very deep thing that I learned this year, and it has like basically horrified me, and I think you will never ever be satisfied. So don't try to like fill that void with endless pursuits. Just try to like find your purpose and meaning in life. So you can see this unique structure, and I think it's kind of weird. I think when I first saw this, I was like, it's like the fossil of a dinosaur, but it's not. And you can see like these two buildings there. First one is BSNL, and it was like basically a bankrupt company now. And the second one is Tata Communication. And honestly, I don't know what's going with the Tata Communication. And but Tata is like Tata Group is for me the best company in the world, and I hope that in future I donate more than like combined Tatas have donated, and that's just like my one of impossible goals and one of my impossible wishes. But yeah, you can see in like you have to like come back and see after 60 to 80 years that I've basically done what I say I'm like going to say done. And I want to make like donate like my whole 500 billion plus net worth to basically just donate and don't use anything for personal gains. And I'm not like having going to have any children or wife, or no one is going to like inherit my wealth. So I'm going to basically give away my all of wealth. And someone used to say to me that rich people are mental, and yeah, he was very right in that regard. So you see the Bombay Stock Exchange, and I think when I will be investing in companies, I am not like going to invest in companies. Like I'm going to buy the whole company when I am like a multi-billionaire. Then like I won't invest in companies. I will just buy them forever. And like I will spend in few companies that I don't like, and that's just how it works. Like I will be flexible, and I have to like understand how mergers and acquisitions and restructuring and takeovers works in business, because like I want to build a massive conglomerate. So I'm starting with the advertising, and I don't know like what's I'm going to do in the future. I have like no clarity, and I think as I walk the path down the line, things will become clear for me. And I don't know like ultimately what business like I want to create till like when I'm like 18 years old. And currently right now I have like Imperium Acquisition, and it's like the holding company or parent company of every company that I run. And right now currently at this moment 17 year old, I have only one company, which is Imperium Media. And I don't know that what companies I'm going to start in future, but I'm going to like basically buy whole company, not just invest in them. So I just came here at one of the best museums in Mumbai, and it's the Museum of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. And if you don't know who he is, well, he is an Indian. He was an Indian, and basically Indian warrior and Indian king, and he pretty much basically conquer like his empire. Basically he was the founder of the Maratha Empire, and Maratha Empire was one of the greatest empire of all time and in India, and it's like one of the biggest. And he basically crushed an army bigger than his army, and basically he fight and compete and basically crush entire Mughal armies. And he was the night terror and nightmare of the Mughals empire. And after his successors basically conquered the whole India, and he did not like get to conquer too much in his era, but he laid the foundation to Maratha Empire, which later dominated the whole India for almost like centuries. So Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj basically used speed, the guerrilla warfare, and he was very fast. And he have built like one of the strongest navy, and basically he protect and basically rule the Konkan coast. And I have read about him when I was like in 6th grade or like 4th, or I read about him in school I think. And right now I'm like in 12th grade, and I still like him, and I still want to read more about like how he basically do all of this. And after him there came a lot of great rulers like his son and his son's sons. And basically he was like a great conqueror, and he emphasized justice. And he is like right now known in India as a symbol of justice, peace, and not peace but basically self courage, reliance, and power. And he is known across all the people in Maharashtra, and I am in Mumbai, and which is part of Maharashtra, right? So you see that Taj Hotel, it was built by one of the well-known and well-respected Tata. I actually don't know his name, but it is under like the Tata Group, and it's a very luxurious hotel. And like one cup of chai is something like 100, and one bottle of basically water is a lot, and I can't afford it right now. And like I want to like visit these places because I want to know what kind of people basically are there, and what's their way of thinking and their belief system, and basically how they see the world and through which lens they do see the world, and basically how they react, how they like carry themselves. And I will, if I go there, I will like meet people who are making like 6 figures a year, 7 figures, and even 8 figure, and even beyond that. That's why I want to go, because well, where I live, there are not like many people who are like, there are people who are making very low money where in which place I do come, but I will move as soon as I can to like other places where like the environment supports to me to basically become the person that I want to become, and is a great environment and ecosystem for me to build a great company and basically have a better life and just succeed. Taj Hotel, and this is another building, random building. I don't know like what it is, but I think it's a hotel also. So these are very two luxurious hotels, and we've seen two in Marine Lines, and there are two hotels also that I want to try. And in future, when I have money and when like I am multi-millionaire, then when I will come like India again, then I will come here and make a vlog about me going to Taj Mahal and this random hotel also. And I don't know that hotel name, but I think I will go there also and try also. And yeah, like it's a five-star hotel I think, and I will make a video in future. Maybe, or maybe I will, but maybe I don't like know what's exactly going to happen. But stay with me, and I will show you like what's possible and how I keep my promise to my audience and to show. See, this is the gateway of India, and I don't know like why it's special. It's just special because it is special, therefore it is special. And I think it's I have basically read history, Indian history, and I think it's a symbol of British. Like I can't even pronounce their name like easily. British rule ended there, and they basically left their troop in like 1948, I think so, from this area, and they basically go there from London, something like that. And like I can't remember exactly, but like I read it like a lot of years ago, like almost 6 to 7 years, and I can't like remember exactly history. And I think history you should read a lot, and I read a lot of history books. And for the like 2 to 3 years, I was like not reading Indian history. I was interested in like the world history and basically Greek, ancient Greek, and Persian wars, and basically Western history, not like Indian. But now I am again back on reading Indian history, and I find it quite interesting. So I am like really fascinated by sea and navy and stuff like that. Like I find ocean very quite interesting, and I think I have interest in space and universe, but ocean is also like quite terrifying and mysterious, and I find ocean very quite interesting. And I love ships, but like I'm confused. Like when I will buy a private jet in future, then I know where like I will park it, and it will like where I want it to be. But when I like get or buy a 500 million yacht, then what like I'm going to do with it, like where I'm going to park it and how I'm going to use it, because it just does not make any sense for me to buy any yacht. Because with airplane like I can travel around the world, but with yacht what I can do, can I go from here to Dubai just by my yacht? I don't think so, but I have very limited knowledge on this topic, so therefore I'm not going to speak. But I want to have a ship and basically a big yacht, and it will be something around 500 million and I am pulling this number out of nowhere, but I will buy it when I have like crazy amount of cash flow and I've done like everything that I wanted to do, and then I will buy it. In Mumbai, we also have like High Court, and I think I don't like need to hire a lawyer right now, and not even in few years. But at some point, I will have to like hire a lawyer, and I will hire a lawyer to basically tell him what I want to do, not what I can't do. And that's a quote from JP Morgan. And JP Morgan, for whom you don't know, he was the like father of, like he was the one of the richest man on planet Earth, and he basically saved the whole American banking system in the panic of 1907, I think. And he's the like founding he's like he found basically the JP Morgan Chase Bank, which is now control under the leadership CEO of Jamie Dimon, and Jamie is like one of my favorite CEOs of all time. And I think just because he is running the company, the global financial system is like a lot of good, and Jamie Dimon is going to like get very far, and he is one of the most respected CEOs in Fortune 500. I am not materialistic. I just came here for the AC and basically to get myself a little bit cool because it was very sunny and hot outside. So I came here invested just to feel like cold and basically not feel very hot. I am not a materialistic. I don't like clothes and I am not here to buy anything. I don't care about clothing and I'm just here for fun. Outside I am very bored and I'm very cold. So let's go. Was kind of good and I see a lot of arts, but I can't shoot like the art videos because there were like a lot of people around me, so I can't show you the arts pieces there. But there were like a lot of arts and jewelries, and basically art is a masterpiece, and I really love arts and basically things that are arts, and I like it very much. I don't like clothes, but I like that arts that they have in. So you can come here and see. Like I did not film arts, but I actually love it very much.